Doing the rundown on Pixar.
All right.
So get right onto it, my man.
Let's do it. All right. So one of the first things they talked about was a TV show that they're actually making for Disney Plus called Win or Lose. Kind of looks like maybe like a Bad News Bears type thing. It's a baseball show.
You don't want a bear in your village.
No. They didn't really show much of it, or at least to us, the general public. Maybe there they showed more. It looked pretty interesting. To me, it looked, from what I saw, the few clips and pictures that they showed, it kind of looked like the animation style that they used for, what was the movie called that came out last year with the girl turning into the...
Turning Red.
Oh, Turning Red.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it gave a Turning Red vibe. It was very more like cartoony and like anime-like, with a lot of weird and wacky stuff going on while also playing baseball.
And it's supposed to be like Pixar's first
series,
actual series.
I think they said the episode length or how many episodes. I just don't remember how many. Maybe it's like 9 episodes, but I don't recall. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like a mini movie or like a 3-episode thing. I think they're gonna do like
an actual series,
a legit season of this, and maybe there'll be multiple seasons. Who knows?
Yeah, because I think there were a lot of talk saying that it's like you said, it's Pixar's first like full length or episodic television series going to Disney Plus. Because you always have the shorts, but me being hella pedantic wanted to say, yeah, but Forky asked the question was technically a series.
Yeah, those are fun. I guess like the one main notable name who he's probably, I think, he's the coach of the team is Will Forte. So
Last Man on Earth.
Yeah. So hopefully that's good.
MacGruber.
I'm sure it will be. Pixar, usually is quality. Usually
they put out a trailer of it.
They put it out in the wild. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's some stuff that we'll mention here today that they only showed exclusively in the event for people there, but
a lot of stuff is leaked.
Nice.
But I'm not saying. Yeah. I'm saying that if one were to look at certain places, you may or may not be able to see those. I don't want to get got by the Disney cops, so
But some of them they did release publicly, on their Instagram. So
I just got darted.
Yeah, Anthony's down.
Got sniped. All right, the next one is Elio, which is a movie I think that was going to be coming out this year, but they pushed it. So it will be Pixar's, I guess, their only one, or maybe one of 2 movies next year. What other movie is coming out next year?
I think it's just
Elio.
Okay, so yeah, they just pushed it back to next year, and it's coming out in June. And they supposedly, they announced that Zoe Saldana is now in the movie, so maybe they changed some things and they added her to the cast. America Ferrera is also in it. Jamila Al Jamil's in it.
You ever seen The Good Place?
Yeah, from The Good Place.
And technically She-Hulk.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brad Garrett. They also have voices.
Nice.
They're part of the voice cast.
Man, Brad Garrett hasn't been in a Pixar movie since Finding... Well, I guess Finding Dory. I don't know if he made like a cameo or a voice cameo at the end of the movie, but definitely at least, as far back as Finding Nemo.
Bringing him back to the family.
Good call, Zach. I completely forgot about that. Because for a while he was doing a lot of they're basically doing a lot of voice acting around there. So totally forgot about that. Good call.
So Win or Lose, I don't think I mentioned it's coming out in December of this year, December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So Elio next summer, 2025, and then Dream Productions, which is another Pixar series on Disney Plus, coming out 2025 next year, based on the Dream Productions from Inside Out, the studio within Riley's mind that makes her dreams, or her, the head movies, if you want to call them that.
My head movies.
But yeah, supposedly it's set between Inside Out 1 and 2. So, who knows what it's going to be about. They could honestly make it about anything. It'll probably be something, I don't know if it'll be more of a Win or Lose, long form, or it might be more like the Forky show, where maybe it's kind of short 10, 15 minute little snippets or episodes. Maybe each episode is a small little mini movie that they make that's a mini dream of Riley's, which would be pretty interesting.
I want to make a prediction about Dream Productions. in some way, shape, or form, they have to throw in the triple dent gum jingle.
Of course.
Like they have to.
Yeah, they definitely.
It's like in box. She's
Not again.
Like, how'd this get here?
That would be great. It's a great inside joke.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if they
Inside joke, inside.
I'm sure they'll make a third movie with how successful the second one is. I'm sure it'll be in that movie too. So
It's stuck in my head now. Thanks. So it's my fault. That's totally what I did. All right.
Next, this one was kind of weird and out of nowhere, but it is gonna be an original movie called Hoppers, which they said will be coming out spring of 2026. There wasn't any footage or anything like that, but their description was a young girl is able to transfer her mind into a robot beaver. So she could infiltrate like the beaver kingdom or something along those lines.
It reminds me of like a Dexter's Lab episode or something. That's where I kind of got the conceit for, but
sounds very weird.
Yeah.
But I mean,
for that one, they showed the logo and then they showed like a concept art.
Some pictures.
But
that's cool. I don't know. Give it a shot.
Hey,
I'm sure it'll
original.
Be, it's original.
Ideas.
Like people, if people are complaining there's too many sequels, well, here's an original one, and Pixar usually makes originals, and if it's a hit, then they'll probably make a sequel out of it. But
Speaking of sequels,
but that one they announced that John Hamm is gonna voice in it, and Bobby Moynihan is also gonna be a voice in it.
nice.
In Hoppers. All right, and then a big hitter, another sequel that probably. I'm pretty sure people are saying the same thing that they said when they announced Toy Story 4, that Toy Story 3 was so good, why do we need another one? Nobody's asking for a sequel, but Toy Story 4 was really good. So if they keep making really good Toy Story movies, and if they keep making over $1 billion, then they're probably just going to keep making them until they're bad. So they announced Toy Story 5, or I think they had already announced it. Maybe a year or so ago.
But
I think Bob Iger, like offhand, was just mentioning like we want to make more sequels to our big movies, and he mentioned Toy Story as one of them back in the day, maybe about a year ago.
Really a year ago?
Yeah,
I it was a few months ago.
I feel like it was probably longer. I thought Toy Story 5 had been in like the rumors have been circulating for like 2 or 3 years.
And I was one of those like, ugh, why are you doing a fifth one? But like, yeah, the fourth one's good. So hold judgment. Hold judgment.
I like the concept though that they mentioned.
Yeah, because it was at some point last year, because I think that interview and those answers that he was giving was kind of like on the cusp of the lackluster box office of Disney movies last year. So it was like kind of him saying like we got to get back to basics and
focus on some of our main IPs.
We have a lot of big IPs that are very popular. Let's just make a bunch of sequels of those,
and let's put them in theaters.
And that was another thing, because during the pandemic, Pixar kind of got screwed with some of their movies.
And another thing about Pixar is that aside from a couple of exceptions, they their thing was to make as many original stories as possible.
That's how they were at the beginning. They were all original.
Yeah, the only exception way back in like the original era would have been Toy Story 2, which only came out like 4 years after the first one, and then we didn't get a sequel again until like Cars 2, which was Cars 2 was what 2010.
2010 was also Toy Story 3. So yeah,
was it?
So yeah, really, they only at that point there was only like sequels to two of their properties.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like they're kind of steering away from what. Not steering away, but they're doing
a mix more.
Yeah, like kind of not
maybe like two originals, one sequel, to like two originals, one sequel, something like that.
I can see where they can do that and maybe successful. I mean, we have Inside Out 2 now. We have
Dory.
We've had 2 car sequels. We've had now 4 Toy Story sequels.
2 incredible sequels.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Like I'm saying, like 1 and 2. That's what I mean. 1 and 2.
Like 1 and 2.
So 1 incredible sequel.
So like 2 incredible. I meant 2 incredible films.
Yeah.
And then a Finding Nemo sequel. So and a Monsters Inc. prequel.
And I guess you could say Lightyear is some sort of like
it's a
off-brand.
That's like a spiritual spin-off, or not really. No, not spin. It's technically a spin-off because
but.
The story
still kind of like
the toys origin story.
It's a movie from a movie.
Yeah.
So it's very Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have anything to show. They kind of showed the title screen. Toy Story 5 is coming out. They said summer of 2026. They showed like with the title, they showed a little, kind of like picture or models of Buzz Lightyear, Woody, and Jesse, which is kind of weird. And then they showed a picture showing some of the toys looking like over the bed, looking at what's the girl's name again? Not Molly. Oh, I forgot her name. What's the girl's name in Toy Story?
In Toy Story 4, yeah.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Bonnie,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it still fun?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it shows Bonnie like with a blanket over her, with her looking at a
Like
tablet,
iPad.
and then it shows
Tablet.
all the toys like at the edge of her bed, looking at her, looking at the tablet, and their description was like, "This movie's gonna be like the toys versus technology, and like which ones are gonna be vying for her attention, pretty much."
And then there's like the
Can Duke Kaboom come back?
yes.
So,
Duke
but
Kaboom is
what's
great.
weird? The reason why I says kind of weird is because spoilers, if you watch Toy Story 4, I believe Woody stayed behind and did not go with the rest of the toys.
And the concept art.
They showed Woody.
Yeah,
with all the
that's why
toys.
I was like, what?
So it's like,
Does he
did
find
they
his way
just
back?
did
I'm sure
Bonnie
he'll
just
find
go
his way
back
back.
to the next year to the carnival, and like he was like, oh, I'll just go back. I don't know. We'll
Or maybe
see.
it's set at a different time. I don't know.
Well, I don't think so.
Maybe
Because
'cause
I think
yeah.
the whole idea is that she's older, and so she's getting into other things than just
Yeah.
her toys.
But maybe she gets a new Woody doll since she lost the original one.
That would
No,
be weird.
That would be
Oh.
scary.
And I think that would like make people upset.
yeah,
But
it's like a clone. It's like, yeah.
Because then
And
you
it's
might as well
not
then you
our
might as well
Woody.
not hire Tom Hanks. It'll be somebody else.
But then at
Maybe
the
his
end,
brother.
at the end, they did show that like there's gonna be an army of
Oh, like 50,
Buzz,
or they show like 50 Buzz
rogue
Lightyears,
rogue Buzz.
evil Buzz Lightyears.
Again.
However that happens,
Yeah.
maybe they go into another store and they all get jumped by Buzz Lightyears.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
But yeah, man. I mean, again, I don't think they would have just made the movie just to make it, because we all thought that with probably. I'm sure people thought that about 3, and 3 turned out to be amazing. Probably one of the best Pixar movies that they've made, if not the best. And then 4, in my opinion, is not as good as 3. But if 3 didn't come out, 4 would have been like ridiculously good, comparable
Yeah.
to most of Pixar's movies. So.
I still have lingering like existential like dread thinking about Forky, where he's just like, "Why am I alive?" Or like, "Holy crap!" Like we're dropping this, we're dropping this in a kids movie. Like,
Why am I alive?
help!
And then their last announcement, which was like extremely surprising, I think for
I think the
most
biggest
people
surprise-
or everyone, yeah, a huge surprise.
Yeah.
They just showed like a splash screen of Incredibles 3 is gonna come out, and I don't think there had been any indication that
They would
another
go back.
Incredibles was gonna come out.
Nope.
Oh, I mean,
Nothing.
it took them how many years to make the second one after the first one?
It's
Like,
after everybody
15
won, like,
years, isn't it?
15
Almost 15
years.
years.
If anybody wanted a sequel to a Pixar movie,
Yeah, that was it.
it was they wanted Incredibles.
That one came out, I think, 2004 or 2005.
2004
Yeah.
is when Incredibles came out.
And then the second one came out when?
2019 or 2020?
Something like
No,
2018.
2019.
that? Right.
That's 2019.
So it was a while. So
2018, guys.
That's right.
2018.
So yeah, it was like, okay, the second one was really good, and we kind of just thought, maybe they'll make it another 15 years. But so this is surprising.
Well, there's no date on this.
They didn't
one
make
yet.
a date, but okay. So if Toy Story is going to be the movie of 26, maybe this will be
27 to
27,
28.
possibly 28. But because it made it seem like, okay, we're working on it, so they probably either haven't even started, or they
yeah.
just started thinking about it and working on it.
Well, I think it was who was doing the announcement? Was it P. Doctor that was doing the?
Yeah, because he's the head of
and then-
Pixar for
yeah.
now. Yeah.
I think he said that Brad Bird was
Return.
Yeah, Brad Bird is
but
returning.
he's but they were already working on development, I guess,
Yeah.
or like I guess spitballing ideas,
Right.
whatever it is that they're doing, right?
So it's awesome that they got Brad Bird back.
Mhm.
That's his baby.
yeah,
Oh, and I forgot to mention Toy Story 5. They mentioned Andrew Stanton is gonna direct it.
okay.
Who is the director of WALL-E?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And other. He's like the director of a couple other movies, and he was also like co-director and co-creator of a bunch of Pixar movies. So he's
Yeah.
still one of the OGs that still works at Pixar, and so I mean,
And,
I'm sure
and
he'll
John
do a great job.
Lasseter is still there too, right?
No, he
No.
got fired.
Oh,
that's why Pete Doctor is there.
Yeah.
That's
He got
right.
fired or
He got
or quit
Forgot.
years
Yeah.
ago for
Stuff. There was controversy within the
possible
studios.
controversy.
That was like during the like around like the Good Dinosaur kind of air like time frame, like during that time 2015, 16, maybe?
Something like that. Yeah.
And then when all that happened, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been 10 years, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Never mind that. Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Docter's writing it. Toy Story 5.
What I'm hoping with The Incredibles 3 is that I liked Incredibles 1 a lot more than I liked Incredibles 2.
Because one is so
that's
good.
the general consensus.
Yeah.
For the simple reason that it felt like it wasn't rushed, but it made the impact that it needed to make, like the first movie, right?
Mm.
I like the 50s like spy kind of feel that it had to
That
it.
kind of retro aesthetic.
With the retro aesthetic and everything, like it was really nice. Then the second movie, it was a lot more fast paced and it seemed like very modern for something that takes place in the 50s, 60s from the first movie, even though they take place like the same day.
Yeah, like right after. It starts like right after.
I'm hoping that you know.
I mean,
they kinda go
Syndrome's
back to
tech
what
was
it
pretty out of hand. Like, he just zaps people and they just froze. Like, that's kind of busted.
Well, that was.
You want them to do like a time skip? Is that?
No, I want them to go back to how like
Maybe
the feel of the first
maybe a year or two.
The feel of the first movie, like the same kind of tone that the first movie was. You know, like take it back a little bit, not rush. Not rush the plot.
So be like Dash and like come in like second place.
Yeah, it's like maybe.
I mean, I feel like it's very similar to what we're talking about with Toy Story. So it's like Toy Story 4 is very good, but it's very hard to compare to 3. So it's kind of like, I think Incredibles 2 is also very good, but it's hard to compare.
Good, yeah.
It's hard to compare
Just
it to 1 because
not the same as
1
the-
is a
It felt
classic
like
movie.
it felt like
is
the
iconic.
first one had ADHD. I would say it felt like the second one had
Second
ADHD.
one at HT.
Yeah.
It moved too fast. So it was like the Lego movie. Is that what it was?
It was. I mean, like some of it was like the pacing of the plot. Some of it was like how the characters were on screen. Like especially like with Mr. Like the part where Mr. Incredible's staying at home, and then like with the kids and everything. Like it's so chaotic. I'm like,
Well,
this-
that's
because
family life. Dude.
That's being a dad.
Yeah, that's family life.
You know,
like the chaos that they showed in parts of the first movie, like in the first part where Dash and Violet are like arguing, and then
because the babies
Helen is
didn't
trying
have
to stop
powers
them and
yet.
everything.
yeah, because that Jack became
things like
Demon
that.
Baby, like
But
super
like things
Demon
like
Baby.
that, I think I prefer like that level of like little family chaos, but not to like like overdoing it. I feel like it was overdone
So
in the second movie.
maybe to alleviate that, they might go like 5 or 10 years later. That way, everyone's growing up. The kids are more grown up, and then the Jack is no longer baby demon.
He's like
he's 7 to 10-year-old demon or
Yeah.
whatever. But like you don't have to like take care of it because he's a baby. And
I think something
so that way like
that,
it'll kind of be more like a maybe more fresh take, because then it's like now you're like seeing them. They know how to use their powers more, and it's more of maybe they like different moves, different things that they can do.
Yeah, like they've learned,
And it's
a couple of
probably not going to be as
moves.
much of like probably like you're saying, like the bickering back and forth because they're not that young anymore. They're a little bit older, but we'll see. Maybe this one will be like
2 days
a week
after.
later. Yeah, it might be a week later.
I really hope.
I hope they do it
But-
just to spend.
I wanted it to
I mean,
be 10 years later.
They didn't announce it. I'm
Like,
sure he's.
Mr. Incredibles is Mr. Incredibles retired, and then Helen is still like
Retired.
Retired.
Not the other word. Not the other R word.
They didn't announce it, but I'm sure he's still gonna do it. I hope Michael Giacchino comes back and does the music.
I think he did mention it.
I think I saw something where too that it did.
Like, I'm pretty
announced.
sure
I mean,
Doctor
they announced
did that.
him for other movies because he's doing the music for Fantastic Four.
I thought Pete Docter had said something about Michael Giacchino. I
Maybe
could be
he did.
wrong.
I just don't. I don't remember.
Or, I don't know.
But I mean, it's
But he
like
should.
99%
It's
sure
Brad
that he's
Bird.
coming back.
It's Brad Bird. He's gonna. Yeah. He's
Well, it's not
gonna
even
be
that. It's just like, well, this guy did such an awesome soundtrack for both movies, so
Especially the first one.
Yeah.
The first one is so good. It's so good. The first one is so good. Like the theme of the beginning, like the main theme is really good, and then there's this one thing, like that training montage that Mr. Incredible did in the first one. That one, I love that one. The jazz is so good. It's so good.
But yeah,
we need
Incredibles 3, that was their
Giacchino or
final big announcement, and yeah, that was probably like one of the biggest surprises and pops of the show, of the convention.
and the Giacchino or the other.
I can't imagine being there when they announced
Lights
that one.
incredible again.
The crowd was like,
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
2024,
Incredibles 3
so
people went,
we might be seeing this in 3 to 4 years. It might be 3 because
Right.
I don't think they would have announced it if it was like 4 or 5 years away.
It's not Avatar 4. 2029. Good God. Anyway.
Yeah, but we've known that.
We've known
that's
that
not
forever.
that's not a secret.
Yeah, that's not too wild. Of a
But
secret,
yeah,
right?
that's it for Pixar. So
Nice.